support a superior courthouse being located in Menifee? Why or why not?
I do not support a courthouse in Menifee.
I do support uses similar to that because they will, create more jobs for lawyers and things like that. But frankly, a courthouse in Menifee scares me. They tell us it's going to be a family court, but I don't believe it. The Planning Commission doesn't get to say what happens at that courthouse. The city doesn't get to say what happens at that courthouse. The state has control. And I have a real concern that that courthouse will end up being a criminal court, and criminals could end up in our city at that courthouse and be dispersed right out onto our streets, adjacent to our parks, in our neighborhoods. And absolutely, no, it scared me.
Okay, Scott?
I do support the courthouse in Menifee. I hope that it comes here. It's a civil court. It'll bring white-collar jobs here. We're a growing city. We're 84,000 residents now. Our general plan has us at 186,000 at development. Modern cities provide amenities and services to the residents. That includes court, public works, infrastructure, Department of Health and Human Services. We need those types of services in our city so that people don't have to drive to Paris, so people don't have to drive to Hemet, so people don't have to drive elsewhere. Every city around us has a Riverside County Department of Health and Services building to service the needs of their residents. The courthouse does the same thing. The bottom line, though, is that the decision hasn't been made. It's still up between us and Hemet, and it's probably 5 or 6 years away for a decision to happen because the governor has not authorized construction dollars for any more courthouses.
Okay. Gloria?
I do not support a courthouse for Menifee. It brings with it many, many things, as Matt Liesmeyer has brought up. I don't think it's good for our city. I think that what happens is that right now it's located in Hemet. Let them use their money or the money that's allocated to renovate that and keep it there. Many of us leave Menifee just to go out to have a good dinner someplace, so people can go to Hemet for the courthouse. Let's leave the town center for what it should be. New development for the citizens and good restaurants, good housing, good parks. Those type of amenities is what we need, not a courthouse.
Same question for Paul.
The industrial, any retail area is critical that we utilize it the maximum as we can. That could be a net loss on what revenue are we getting from the footprint that courthouse is taking. So that's a net loss, and also the public safety costs that go up with that, and we're getting no retail coming in. We need to maximize all our retail properties and make sure we're getting as much revenue, tax revenue for the city.
Okay. Okay, Darcy, are you ready?
I disagree. I don't think we need a courthouse here in Menifee. Whatever it costs for the courthouse, the money can be used all the way around. That story I was talking about, parks. We need more parks on this side of the freeway. There's other areas that need parks. We need law enforcement here. If you did the ink on what a courthouse would cost, you'd probably be staggering the amount of money that it would cost. And I think we could use the money here more wisely.
Okay.
We don't pay for the courthouse, they pay for it, they go with it. We don't have to come up with any money. All we get is the employment benefit of the people who are working there. It's been stated, and I don't know why everybody doesn't understand, it's in writing that this is a family courthouse, family law courthouse. They put that in writing. And the way that it works is this is when you get a divorce. You have to drive now to Riverside, you have to drive to Murrieta. You can get your divorce right here in Menifee. You don't have to move down. When your grandson and your mom, if they're fighting, and where the kid's going to stay, they can be right here. You don't have to drive to Riverside. This is a courthouse for law. You you shouldn't have to drive all the way to the cities around us in order to be able to have what a normal city has. Cities have these kinds of attributes because they're needed in the city.
Yes. I agree with Matt Leesmeyer wholeheartedly. All right. The downtown vibrant area that we're going to have with restaurants, walking, and everything else, and it doesn't have to be, that property's too expensive, okay? And the traffic, okay, is going to be horrendous. Now, if the state holds a gun to our head, I say, put it on Ethernet, since they're going to widen the road, it's going to be a 4-lane highway, there'll be no traffic out there. That's where you want to put it if you have a gun to our head.
Just a note to the control room, it says I've got a low battery here. I don't know if you've got any.
Supplies. There we go.
Yeah, that's
Sue.
okay, so there has been, am I on? Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm pretty loud. Okay. There has been so much misinformation put out about this courthouse. There's been people who have said it's going to be a parolee processing center, which is something that actually does not exist. There has been assertions that the judges are going to pull these people in and say, oh, you've had your drug test and you're clean, so drop your yellow jumpsuit over there and be free to roam through Menifee. That's so false. That's not what this is. I wholeheartedly support this courthouse for a number of reasons. When I was on the council, I went and I met with the Office of the Courts, and there is not a criminal component to this courthouse. This is not only going to bring us jobs here, the high-end jobs that are going to allow for the larger lots, the people who can afford the larger lots. It's also going to bring a tremendous amount of transient traffic through to eat in our restaurants and buy things in our stores and then go home. So we're not getting the high density that you're talking about, but we're getting the revenue that this courthouse will bring.
This is a very easygoing community, but it is getting younger. We need to serve the younger population. What are your proposals to do this in the near future?
We need more soccer fields, ball fields, football fields, and to do that, we need to provide a housing market for that market niche to come to Menifee. We are void. The realtors told me that we have a market that's void for that single family, or the family units that are in that category, between the apartment dwellers to the price point of about $330,000. We got plenty of housing market for seniors, townhomes, condos in that range, but we don't have it for the families. So we need to, first of all, make sure that we have some of that housing market coming in Menifee. We also need to have enhance our youth sports through Valley-wide and through the City of Menifee's Parks and Recs Department, and we need to provide those amenities that people are looking for that. You know, we need more Audie Murphy sports parks. And that 20-acre park, by the way, the 20 acres next to Paloma Valley that some of my colleagues have said is useless land, the reason why it's not developed is we don't have the money to develop it, but we are.
Gloria.
This is a very easygoing community, but it is getting younger. We need to serve the younger population. What are your proposals to do this in the near future?
Well, I agree that we need to have more parks, we need to have better school education, we need to have soccer fields, we need to have the amenities that keep the young families here in Menifee. We need to make sure that we have the housing that's available to our young families so they can come in. I think they want housing, I don't think they want apartments, I don't think they want townhomes. I think they want to be able to have a house that their children can play in the backyard. But I think they also we have something already that's available to them thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, which is very active. They have great programs. I think we have to encourage those kind of programs and make sure they're available to all the young families.
Okay, thank you. Paul, same question?
Yes, a larger regional type park would be very helpful. It seems like they're all down at the southern end of Newport. Like you put one by Paloma Valley. We're, as John says, we're going to be growing big time in the Bromoland area. We need, as they're developed the homes there, can we create or get the support to create a large regional park there to help support the communities up here at the northern end?
Okay, thank you.
one more time, I agree with everybody. We're on the parks again, and the field down the street from the high school, that hasn't been developed. I don't know when it's going to be developed. It says it's going to be developed. It still hasn't been developed, but I'm going to tell you that for another 4 years. Want to hear the same story?
I agree.
Well, let's get with the parks around here for the kids. There's a lot of kids. I've coached Menifee Valley Little League in the city of Menifee for 8 years. I lived on this side trying to get to the parks over there at Wheatfield. It takes me 45 minutes to get there with my son. My son hates dad when ball season starts, trust me. He doesn't want to leave so early, but that's the only time we can get there to start coaching. We need more fields over here. We need good fields over here. We only have one, really, the Audie Murphy Ranch, the ranch over there that has one diamond over there. Great diamond. We need more over here for the kids. There's a lot of kids that go to Menifee. We're not addressing that situation. It's not about more housing. There's housing sitting here on the docket right now to be built. So, this is what we need.
Okay, and John Denver?
The problem is that the city of Menifee is not going to build these parks. Developers build the parks when they build their homes. That's why the Audie Murphy Park that you mentioned was done, is the builder built it, and the city, the planning commission actually demanded that they build it. That's part of the deal. That's why in my district, when we have all this development happen, 1,500 new homes, they're going to be building parks up there. They're going to be finishing the roads up there. They're going to be putting in businesses. And that's how you get younger people in happy, is that you have different level of houses so they can move up. You don't just have 15,000 square foot lot homes. You don't just have apartments. You have homes that they can afford, that they can move into. And that's how you do it. And then once you have those places, and by the way, we are short of those. I don't think you heard the mayor. The mayor said we have a very short supply of those homes.
Okay, thank you. Tom Furman?
I guess I'm going to have to correct a statement because this question triggered my memory. All right. 4 years ago, I did meet with one developer. Jeff Dinkin of Regent Properties is supplying 6 acres for our new city hall building. That 6 acres, in the meeting there, I hashed it out with him. I says, how about putting soccer fields in there? And he gave me a little twist of the head. And he says, okay, I'll put up $500,000 and I'll put soccer fields on the ground where the new city hall is going to be, that we can have soccer fields for at least 15 years or more till we get the new city hall. So that's one feather in my cap as far as getting soccer fields for the city.
Okay, Sue?
Can you just repeat it again, because I've lost the answer to the...
This is a very easygoing community, but it's getting younger. We need to serve the younger population. What are your proposals to do this in the near future?
Okay, so parks, absolutely, obviously. Activities for kids, obviously. Measure AA is going to serve the younger people of this community. Having our kids go through school here, graduate Willamette Heritage, moving over to college, getting the proper education that is now creating the jobs in the community and completing that cycle. That's how we're going to serve the younger generation of this community. Affordable housing is absolutely paramount in this scenario. John's right. You don't graduate high school and buy a 15,000 square foot lot home. It just doesn't happen. This is such an unreal expectation for our community. I can't even believe that it was brought up. You go into an apartment, it doesn't make you a lower form of being. It makes you somebody who's new into the adulthood. And that's what we should be embracing here. And that's what we should be fostering, is an environment of collusion, or inclusion, where everyone gets to evolve into this community that they see fit.
Yeah, we absolutely do need to work on our parks out here. We have great opportunities right out there in Quail Valley. There's dead parks sitting out there waiting to be fixed up. We've got a lot of opportunities, but one of the things that we need to do is raise our park ratio up to 5 per thousand. Right now, our park ratio is down at 3 per thousand. And by raising the requirements for our park space, we can bring those amenities that attract young families. The biggest complaint that I hear from residents when I'm out there walking is, I've got to drive all the way out to Henry to take my kid to Little League. I've got to go to Moreno Valley to use a baseball field. I've got to get off work at 2 o'clock to make practice because the fields are so impacted by the residents. We just don't have enough opportunities
for the kids out here, and we need a lot more.